Hey friends, I'm just here for a few minutes. The body is too low energy right now to record. It's funny, but it's kind of a high energy thing, recording these journals. There are, there was just something I wanted to share though, and the rainbows picked me up just enough so that I could turn the camera on and speak for a few minutes. The changes are coming fast and faster. Everything I look at, the response that flows is love and appreciation and uplift, pretty much. I'm enjoying listening to Abraham. I've gotten back into that now. So much to offer. It's amazing. And I lost count. It's 10, 11, 12 journals written in the last few days. So there's a lot in the pipeline. It's easier to write than it is to record. Mostly, I just wanted to touch bases with you so that we could all touch bases in heart. So get into your heart and share with me there. And I want this to be so contagious. I want it to spread everywhere. And a lot of times, people, it can be accessible to people, but without them knowing, then the mind can get in the way and you won't perceive it. It's like not knowing that you don't know what questions to ask. I mean, it's, I don't know, I botched that, but anyway. There's an upliftment that's here for us, and it's really strong. Now, this tiredness in the body has got nothing to do with anything negative at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think I even believe in negativity anymore. But anyway, I'm reading it as being very much a part of two things, which is probably one thing: the DNA changes that are ongoing, and it's not just our DNA. I mean, we're getting significant upgrading going on, and we have been in a pretty darn intense solar wind for the last couple of days, and been in a solar wind for I think it's 5 or 6 days now, so it's really been ongoing, and that always kind of gets to this body a little bit. So if you're feeling a bit under the weather or something like that, try not to have any negative thoughts around it, about being ill or anything like that. Maybe not. But if you have negative thoughts, then that's what you're gonna bring to yourself is negative things. Everything that I'm looking at, everything that I'm seeing, even things that are supposedly negative that I once would have taken that way, that's all gone now. And I just want to share one little incident with you. A lot of you have probably heard of, it's something bear, a fellow who saw a double rainbow and was recording at the time and was just overcome with joy. He just had an absolute paroxysm of joy, and he's got the cojones to put it up on the web and share it and not take it down. In spite of all the crazy stuff, people are saying, "Oh, you had to be on drugs, man. That's the only way you feel like that," and all that kind of nonsense. And I saw it years ago, but somebody sent me the link, Visionary Voices, And so I watched it again the other day. Was it only yesterday? I don't know anymore. And I was so moved by it. And so I left him a pleasant comment. And then I noticed he'd made another video. It showed up in the related vids, and it was like explaining this double rainbow video. So I went over and I listened to that. And I glanced through the comments, and there was an awful lot of negative stuff. And I was just so happy and so excited by it. And I felt really strongly a connection with this guy, just between you, me, and the wall. I feel like he may be a part of my soul family, or at least is someone whom I know, that we know one another from other experiences, other times, lifetimes, whatever. And so I left him what I thought was a really lovely comment, and saying something about, I used the word pathetic. If I had it to do again, I wouldn't use that word. But how pathetic it was that the people had to blast him the way they were with this negativity when it was all so intensely beautiful. I don't remember what I wrote anymore. But anyhow, he got back to me. I just, I actually shed a few tears over his response. It was really interesting. And he said something about he wasn't sharing it for enlightened people, and he wasn't sharing it for people that were not in heart or something like that. And I forget what he said, but I felt hurt and kind of shut down by what he said. That's what it was. I just felt kind of shut down. So I paused and I pondered and I watched my feelings, and I claim them. I'm not blaming the guy. I claim my feelings as my own. Our feelings are always our own. Let's stop blaming other people or circumstances for them, all right? So at first I wasn't going to say anything, but then a heart brought me back, and I wrote him back. And I let him know, I felt kind of hurt, and I wasn't claiming to be enlightened, and, I didn't mean to slam anybody, kind of a thing. And just to reach out. And pretty soon I got a second response. And in this one, he said that all of the commenters and all of the comments had nothing to do with him, that it was strictly about the people making the comments. I think that's kind of what that explanatory video was about too. He's trying to say, that we're all projecting our stuff on him, and he said that he doesn't take any of it in, and it was kind of that's that. Now I really felt rejected. And so here's the joy and here's the beauty. A la Abraham, maybe, because that's been really supportive for me lately. The beauty was that it brought up in me just exactly what needed to come up and be greeted and welcomed and dealt with at that time. And so a whole lot of processing went on, and it felt really good. Now, it didn't feel really good as far as I wrote him back one more time and he didn't respond. And so you don't have to have circumstances go your way to feel good. That's what I'm trying to get down to. It doesn't matter which way circumstances go. No matter what happens, everything's going your way. Everything is designed precisely to bless you. And it really helps if we know that other people have free will and their lives are really none of our business. And if he wants to look at things that way, that's his right. And I trust Source that if Bear, whatever his name is, and I are meant to connect in any way, it will happen. I don't need to try to force life. You see? You see how lovely that is? That you can take something. Now, I mean, there are other comments that you get that are just plain nasty. And hopefully those make you laugh. Because, you know, and that whole thing, you can whip it out of your hip pocket and say, well, they're only projecting. Well, that can be a cop-out. That's what I wrote him back. I said, maybe so, but, you know, it can also be a way to not engage with people and to hold them at distance. And so, you see, I trust that the seed is planted. And if Source wants him to wake up to something, then Source will provide it by having other people and other situations say the exact same thing in different ways. You see? There's no need for us to try to badger people and beat them over the head with our opinions, with our ideas, our attitudes, our comments. So, I'm having a blast here. I am feeling so higher consciousness. And it's been stretching over a few days, so it's you know, not like just a little blip. It's not like an experience or a state. You know, I've slept several times, and it's continuing. All right. I guess there's one other thing I want to share, and I'm still working on the thing with Abraham and the manifesting. Doing it the way of emotional desire versus the way of I'm just going to put words on it, spiritual mastery. Those are not good words, but I'm trying to distinguish manifesting without using the emotional route to do it, okay? As I've said, I'm really loving the Abraham stuff, and I have nothing negative to say about it, nothing at all. But I don't let it limit me. I don't let my interpretation of it limit me. Because it might seem to say that as much as possible, and people, please, I'm not slamming Abraham, and maybe I don't understand them fully. Let that be. Just let me share my heart. I watch some things that are negative sometimes, not very often, but when heart calls me to watch something, I'm willing to do that. Like some of you might have seen, is it 9/11 or is it Livery is one that I'm watching, and there are several, not a lot. I certainly don't watch news and things like that, but there are some videos that discuss things that could be seen to be very negative that I'm called to watch. And I just wanted to share with you that when I do it with my hand real close to the pause button, what I'm finding is a few things. One, it helps me process some stuff. That's not why I'm doing it. And, you know, I don't feel the need to do it. Well, I don't do it for a reason. I do it because heart suggests to me it feels right to do. So there's no reasoning or thinking behind why I'm doing this. But I wanted to share with you that even in the watching of such things, what I will often find is this heart will soar into the heavens, if you will, on the intensity of prayer over that situation, calling in light, calling in protection for those standing up and speaking for truth. We know how many of them seem to get bumped off in strange ways, the most bizarre rash of suicides. Oh my God, it's just so insane that we put up with it. But anyway, it's all shifting, it's all changing. And remember, my take on the whole thing is it will do itself as long as we stick to self and now and stay close to heart. We're guided, we're shown, we're danced. And Source knows above all the very best way to handle it all. And the fact is, the bad guys, that whole thing is done. It's over. It's finished. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? How done that stuff is? It's just a matter of the outplay of that, of dancing through the last acts of the play, where that is playing such a major role. That's finished. On the inner, energetically, it's over. When something is over energetically, the only thing hanging on is in the physical is the past energy that was put into that thing, petering out, finishing up. All right? So I have no concerns. I have no fears. That's another thing about this. I'm noticing more and more, there's layers and various forms of fear. Even anxiety is a form of fear. But I'm noticing more and more by what I do and what I'm willing to do and willing to watch and listen to, and the people I'm willing to engage with, the lack of fear and the freedom and the power that just automatically supplies. And it's not even like you're powerful. It's, you just watch yourself and you see, oh golly, putting words to this stuff is so bizarre. But I know a lot of you have found your way into heart. And I'm communing with you on a lot of different levels. And these words are the most superficial of all. And if you think that I am what you see here, well, get out of your head and into your heart, because you're wrong. All right, I guess I've talked my way into a lot longer than I meant to, but that's okay. This is how it flowed. Namaste, my friends. I'm feeling really good about things, about everything. And so it might be a few more days. I'm loving myself. I'm treating this body with the tenderest of care when it wants to rest. No more of the mind pushing it and, oh, you're being lazy garbage, and pushing. There's no need. Don't let yourself be pushed around by anyone, most especially your own mind. See you soon.